Kick needs to default on muted and paused. I don't know why it doesn't. It would make so much sense if I wouldn't have to hit pause and mute every time I go live. It's the beginning of every show will have a little bit of noise at it because I have the Kick screen up.
Good morning.
It doesn't default on what should be default settings. Good morning, Josh G. Hello. Hello. Hope everyone is doing great this morning. Getting my shoulders aligned here. Had a nice evening last night. Went to sleep kind of earlier. And then my dog woke me up around 12:30 or 1 o'clock, I think it was. He had to go outside. And I'm like, okay, so now he doesn't have to go out this morning, which is great. So I just do my morning thing. Nice. I see you got a new Kick title. It's just, if I remember to do it, I don't really care that much about Kick so much, the titling or whatever, but you or someone pointed out to me the titles weren't changing, so, Rumble is supposed to, not Rumble, Restream is supposed to handle that for everybody, and, it's just not, they don't have it working yet. I could point it out to them. I'm sure someone else will. That titles aren't updating from Restream. And I'm just kind of like, do I really care that much about it to message them? I really don't. I think Kick will be big for me one day in the future, but not yet. And when it blows, I've got 71 followers over there. If I gain more followers on Kick, we'll see if that gets better. I guarantee you it's not because I'm using the same title every day. It is different content. Got some things going on. What's happening with the missile strikes over there have not stopped, obviously, and 10 people are now dead that were alive yesterday. But, Zelensky wants to keep fighting until they win the war, so more Ukrainians are going to get killed because, Zelensky doesn't know how to sit down and just have a talk over a treaty, over peace, over accords, or some sort of discussion or agreement. And all of the American cucks that love war so much that are sitting there supporting him and this bullshit just stand by and watch these Ukrainians get slaughtered and they act sad about it and whatever. You don't care about those Ukrainians. If you cared about Ukrainian lives, you'd be pushing for a peace treaty. And you're not, so you don't. So all these people like Dylan and all these other assholes that are out there on the internet that are preaching that, America should continue to fund this war in Ukraine, those people just want to see more dead Ukrainians, and that's all they're going to get. More dead Ukrainians. Great job. Great job, all you war hawks. That's all you're doing. Putin obviously is able to sit down and talk and work things out. He just proved that with the coup. He talked it. He figured it out. He fixed it. Because people were willing to talk to him. Unbelievable, right? Finished. That same logic would apply to this stupid war if this side would consider not listening to stupid ass Zelensky and the Nazis that he lords over, but actually people who are willing to sit down and talk. And until that happens, going to be more dead Ukrainians. A lot of them. Going to be a lot more dead Ukrainians. Way to go, America. Way to go funding the goddamn war morons. All you war hawks. All you Dylans out there. Yeah, we got to fight evil Russia. We have to fight Russia. We've got to fight Russia. We've got to keep fighting Russia. Well, as long as it's at the expense of dead Ukrainians, I guess America's cool with that. They really don't care about you guys, Ukraine. I just want you to know that. Hey, Ukraine, America doesn't give a fuck about you. All we care about is stomping over you so we can fight our enemy. Trust me, we don't care about you at all. We know that you're a bunch of Nazis. Hey, Lusta, good morning. We know you're a bunch of Nazis. We've seen you at your sporting events telling them to gas the Jews. We know what you guys are about. We don't give a fuck about you. You guys are fucking dogs. So understand that. Even the people that act like and fly their little blue and yellow flags, you think they're sending you money? You think they give a fuck about you? I'd say 99% of those blue and yellow flags don't send you a fucking penny. They put up a blue and yellow flag so they can feel better about their little war effort. So, keep supporting the lie and keep on pouring your money into it and your tax dollars into it and keep electing these morons that would have your children go die in another country for people they don't even give a fuck about. They don't give a fuck about the Ukrainians. They care about killing Russians. That's how much America hates Russia, man. They just want to kill Russians. And this is our big opportunity. We don't have to do it on our own soil. No skin off our teeth. Hey, all we got to do is spend money. Hey, we can just keep printing that. No skin off our teeth. America's still strong. Our borders are up. Nobody's sending missiles into our territory. We didn't lose 10 lives last night. 60 people get maimed from a missile strike from Moscow. Why the fuck do any of you care? And those of you that pretend that you care, way to go. Look what you did. More people dead. This is what your attitude gets us. So keep supporting the morons that are supporting the war, and we'll keep having more dead Ukrainians, and and Russia will keep Russia-ing, because that's what they do. But one thing's for sure, no matter what we pour into this, it ain't gonna stop. And if you think there's light at the end of this tunnel, you got some rosy colored glasses on that you're wearing. Because as of right now, there's nobody that's planning to end this thing. Nobody is even talking about it. Everyone's making money and everybody's happy. A few Ukrainians get killed. Who fucking cares? I mean, do I care? No, I don't. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. Maybe you should have shut down all the sporting event motherfuckers that were screaming, gas the Jews if you wanted more people to support your country. But you allowed that shit. I don't think that shit would fly in an American stadium. I don't think people would stand for it. I think people that were standing in part of that stadium that were screaming gas the Jews would get stomped to death by the rest of the actual Americans that fucking hate Nazis. The fact is, Ukrainians don't really hate Nazis that much. They're okay with having them, around, floating around the population, doing their marches, doing their chants, going to sporting events, hanging out together, saluting Hitler, whatever, wearing swastikas, whatever. They're cool with it. They're, don't ask, don't tell. Ukrainian has a don't ask, don't tell policy on Nazis. Yeah. And, you wanted to win my heart over, you would have been a little bit more outspoken about your Nazi problem. You'd admit that you had one. Let's do step one. Let's admit, hey, Ukraine's got a Nazi problem. The Nazis are showing up at the sporting events, and everyone seems cool with that. Everyone seems cool with groups of Nazis hunting down people of color and beating them senseless in a fucking sporting stadium. I don't see any other Ukrainians running to help those people. Ever. In all the videos that I saw, nobody was running to help those colored people. They were just sitting there like a bunch of cucks. Like a bunch of Nazi-watching cucks. And is that why I really hate all this? Not really, but it's a good reason to. It's a great reason to. And when you hear people talking about the fact that Ukraine is full of Nazis, understand it's true. They really are. The silence is deafening. The lack of people that speak out against Nazism in Ukraine, it's fucking deafening. That's why it's festered. That's why it's growing like a fucking cancer tumor over there. Because people really don't give a fuck. Well, welcome to fascism. That's where it got you. You're not going to get sympathy from someone like me now. So, fuck you. And all my audience members that don't want to be here today for whatever reason,
Morning, I'm speechless.
except for the legitimate ones, you're a bunch of dumb cunts too. Fuck you for not supporting this show anymore. Fuck you. For those of you that still support me, thank you. Love you. And I mean that. It's tough. 5 people? Really? Fuck all these motherfuckers. Here I am, live, bringing the content, got the title. They know what I'm talking about. They don't want to be here? Fine. Fuck them. They're going to be crying when I'm not here anymore, bro. I know that. Someone one day they're going to come up to their computer and be like, oh, dude, Nate's not broadcasting anymore. Where the fuck that guy go? Oh, fuck you. Fucking fair weather fuck. Hoot now, good morning. Good morning, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see anybody that's deciding to show up this morning. I really do appreciate you guys that are coming to hear my talk this morning. I got something to say, so listen to it. Let me know what you think. Requires 32 ETH. What? Multiples of 32 ETH. Are you fucking kidding me? ETH is fucking almost $2,000, dude. You're asking people to put up $64,000 worth of crypto so they can join your stupid program? Hey, how about you join my fucking dick in your mouth, you motherfuckers? How about that? Shove my balls all the way down your fucking lungs. Fuck you. Jesus fucking Christ. Fuck you. 32 fucking ETH. What? That's like $32 worth of ETH? No, 32 ETH at 18.53 each. Wow. Probably comes out to somewhere around $50,000 or something. They're obnoxious. Join our ETH staking program with $50,000 worth of Ethereum per unit. Dude, I don't know anybody personally who's got fucking 32 ETH. That is a lot of money in Ethereum. Yeah, I got plenty of money in Bitcoin, but Ethereum, I don't have 32 grand in it, I'm pretty sure. Looks like I got about... Actually, it looks like I have about 32 grand. It looks like I got about 32,000 Ethereum, actually. That's fucking funny. No, they're saying 32 ETH. I don't have 32 ETH, but $32,000 of ETH I've got. But that's different than having 32 ETH. Man, no, I do not have 32 ETH. I have... Well, no, I don't even have that. I have no ETH. I have like 2 ETH. What am I saying? All my ETH is locked up in Celsius, and they're not going to give me back the ETH. So I've lost it all. They're going to give it to me back as crypto, probably Bitcoin or USD or something, but I think I lost the ETH, which sucks, because that means I lose the value in it if I bought it at a good price. But live and learn, man. I made new investments to try to make up for it. Not fully making up for my losses, but I am recouping some because of the purchases I made when Bitcoin was at 16, 17, 18, 19, all the way up to $24,000. I was buying it because I knew it was going to keep going. And I bought plenty of it, man. So I'm looking good on that. Good morning, people that are just getting here. We talked about Russia. What's going on with... I was going to dab this. This is off of my dabber. These dabs right here, this was the culmination of my dabber when I melted all the oil off of it. That's what I came up with. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, man, look at all that. That's a bunch of dabs right there. I don't know how many dabs that is. Or a single Pinoy grower dab. All right. Anyhow, I hope you guys are doing great this morning. I watched some Louis Rossman. I want to talk about that. Louis Rossman shouted out Destiny, man. He's like, Destiny got banned from Twitch or YouTube because he said something fucked up. And I don't know what the comment was Destiny made that got him banned from social media. But Louis Rossman does a great video about it, and I'd love to bring it up because, as a fan of Destiny, it's great when one of your podcasters is mentioning another one that you didn't realize that he even knew about him. Fuck Windows 11.
That is turning. I'd like to discuss what's going on with Twitch. Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a lovely day. So today I'd like to discuss what's going on with Twitch and admittedly kind of say that I'm happy that I deleted my account there over a year ago. So about a year ago, I deleted my account on Twitch because they started banning people that were some of the first major live streamers on the platform that in my opinion did a lot for public discourse. Like him or hate him, sometimes I like what he has to say, sometimes I disagree. I really like Destiny's content and he's been a regular creator on the platform for a decade. And many of the people that were very excited to see him deleted and got banned were the same people.
Okay, the banning of Destiny and why I'm deleting Twitch was March 26th. Okay, we want to watch that video, so let's go to that one. Here we go. This should be interesting, guys. I don't know what this is. Wait a minute. Where did I go? Archive. I don't know what I'm looking at. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I'll just go back. It was March 26th. We'll go find it organically. Because the link didn't work. Whatever. Oh, dude. Okay. All right. We'll search the word Destiny. We'll find it. The banning of Destiny and why I'm deleting Twitch. Here we go.
How's it going? I hope you're all having a lovely weekend. I'm not. Somebody that I've watched on and off for the past 4 years, and I've gone to listen to interesting discussions on a number of different topics, regardless of whether I always agree, has been banned from Twitch.
Wow, this is great, man. So I'm going to actually go to Destiny's chat, which I don't have open right now, and I'm going to let them know that I'm going to talk about this. We'll see if any of them want to show up. And Rumble. Should I give him the Rumble link? Give me a second to grab the Rumble link. Okay, great. All right, man, here we go. This should be interesting. I really like what he says here. I had no idea that he even would have known that who Destiny was. It's fucking crazy, man. But this guy's a hardcore Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton left-wing liberal. So it makes sense that he's discovered Destiny at some point. But the fact that he liked Destiny and decided to watch him and became a fan of Destiny's, that's cool, man. That's cool.
How's it going? I hope you're all having a lovely weekend.
So I watch Louis
I'm not
Rossman all the time.
Somebody that I've watched on and off for the past 4 years.
I'll turn this
and
up.
I've gone to listen to interesting discussions on a number of different topics, regardless of whether I always agree, has been banned from Twitch for, in my opinion, disingenuous
System sounds
reasons. And I
unmuted
want to
again.
go over this. The
Thanks,
name of that
Windows
streamer is
11.
Destiny. He discusses
Fucking
random
idiots.
things that are going on, modern events, politics. And the one reason that I've always found his stuff interesting, even if I find myself not always agreeing, and most certainly probably not voting for the same candidates that he would vote for, is because he always tends to come at things from a rational perspective. He doesn't come at it from an ideologically possessed perspective. That's a word that you'll hear me use a lot on this channel, ideologically possessed, where I don't feel like I'm having a conversation with a person. I feel like I'm having a conversation with an ideology. I feel like I'm having a conversation with an idea, but it wasn't your idea. Like somebody else put it into your head. It's very kind of boring nowadays in the very divided political climate, where I can meet someone and I ask what they think about one thing, and then based on how they present it to me, I just know exactly what they're going to think on 42 other issues. It doesn't seem like the reason that they believe what they believe is because of any specific set of principles. It doesn't seem like the reason they believe what they believe is because they did a lot of thinking and came to this conclusion. It's just kind of like a bumper sticker. And it's honestly very, very boring, and it can be very, very lonely to surround yourself with people who are in echo chambers. And something I've always appreciated about that channel is, even if it's not particularly popular, even if it's going to get him shit from his audience, he comes to the conclusions that he comes to based on evidence and reason and everything that he finds. And even when I disagree, I very much so enjoy listening to the perspectives. I am going to go out there
now,
on a limb
I gotta
and say that
what a great take on Destiny. It was as if I had written it myself. I look at Destiny the exact same way, man. I don't agree with everything the guy says. I think that some of his reasoning is off. But, man, he does investigate stuff. He looks at it. And I think that Lewis kind of misses the fact that he's coming from a right-wing perspective, that Destiny definitely comes from a right-wing perspective. That's where he comes from, and that's where he's really looking at things from, and I think he kind of missed that. But at the same time, Destiny's I think he's completely flipped, but his perspective is still coming from the same place.
Not be voting for the same people. That being said, that does not mean that channel is not an amazing source of information, entertainment, and discussion for me and many other people who want to listen to
Okay, and I say this to all of you. Louis Rossman, who has 1 million followers, and when he goes and does an upload, he gets thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of views. He thinks that Destiny's great entertainment. I've been telling you guys for months now that I feel that Destiny is great entertainment. Most of you just ignore me. Well, maybe listen to this guy instead of me. You think I'm crazy? Maybe listen to this guy instead. All right, there you go. Fuck you. Fuck you if you don't believe me, but you got to hear from him. Fuck you. Here you go.
Now, one of the things that I've appreciated about it as well is his willingness to have conversations with virtually anybody and not come to the conversation assuming that person is genuinely evil, even if he very much so disagrees with them. He talks to them as if they are human beings, regardless of any of the disagreements that he has, and he's always willing to have a 1 or a 2 or a 3 hour conversation with somebody, even if it's somebody who he vastly disagrees with. Because he understands that the way that you build bridges and the way that you get people out of their echo chambers is by having real conversations. And there are several reasons.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. You're not getting anybody out of their echo chamber by having these conversations. No one is getting won over. Everyone walks away from these debates thinking what they were thinking when they walked into them. That's the thing I hate about fucking debates. No one changes their opinions on it. Not RFK Jr., not fucking Joe Rogan, not fucking Jimmy Dore, not fucking Tim Pool, not any politician you've ever heard, not anybody you've ever heard engage in a fucking debate. No one ever walks out of debate and says, wow, I was wrong. My premise was wrong. Wow, you've really convinced me. That's why I fucking hate debating. It doesn't achieve anything. So, for him to say that, oh yeah, this is how we accomplish, winning people over, it's not, man. It's really not. You really have to just beat the shit out of people. And it's the only way they're going to listen. You just have to beat them. You have to beat them with more votes. You have to beat them with more power. You have to beat them with louder voices and screams and marches and protests, because no one is going to allow you to reconvince them of their fucking narrative. Ever. It just doesn't happen. People don't change, man.
They have banned this individual, and there are many people who have been kind of wondering.
Think they've convinced the viewers. It's more or less entertainment from what I see. I'm with you on debates.
I know. They think they convinced the viewers, but I guarantee you, the viewers that went in thinking what they thought with the other debater, they're not going to change their mind. The people sitting on the fence, they're still going to be on the fucking fence. You're not convincing and winning people over, and the proof of this is the fact that there is such a massive amount of people out there that subscribe to liars on the internet. You're not going to convince these people. They want to be lied to. They love being lied to. People love being lied to. It just feels comfortable. It feels like Santa Claus is coming down the chimney to bring you your presents. And what could feel better than that? We're having a huge drop right now in the market. Let's go to that for just a second. Big drop here. It doesn't seem that bad with our numbers, so that's good. Let the drops drop, and maybe this will be the head on a massive head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. It looks like we've got a shoulder, and this looks like it's forming a head. So I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm predicting a massive head and shoulders and a massive spike upwards. We've got a falling wedge pattern that we're building on. So there you go. How is that? Good technical analysis. Just for a second, not to bore all the people that aren't into crypto. Some of us are making some money, and we're really happy. Let's go back to Destiny.
One of the reasons was because they say that he has said certain things in debates regarding trans people that were not exactly towing a particular line, or that he aggravated.
Thank you for that. Clear and concise.
Win it, Muncha. You're welcome. And thank you for not calling me Grandpa today. You fucking cunt. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm still mad at you for calling me Grandpa, but thank you for not calling me that today. I forgot what I was going to say. I think I just paused it because you were talking. Okay, my bad.
Haha, sorry, brother. I think I'm older than you anyway.
Dude, how old are you? If you're older than me, then I don't mind you calling me Grandpa. Are you? I thought you were a kid. That's funny. No, if you're older than me, you call me Grandpa. That's cool. I'll call you Grandpa, too.
Win it, Muncha.
Oh, shit!
62.
Yes! Yes! Of course you're older than me. Man, you must be in great shape if you're 62 years old and you don't know whether or not you're older than me, man. You must be in great shape. Holy shit. Dude, RFK Jr. is fucking 69 years old. Look at that guy. I can't even believe it when I say those words. He's 69 years old. My glasses. RFK
is ripped.
Dude, facts. You know, I hate the man, but if the guy's got muscles, I'm going to see them and I'm going to say the guy's ripped. He is. He's in way better shape than I am. Wow, and he's 69 years old. And that gives me inspiration that I could look better as I get older. You know, it's right there. I just have to work harder at it. You know, maybe not eat all the fat foods that I eat.
What I find particularly interesting about this is that during the anti-SJW surge, where there was a lot of money to be made in telling people what they wanted to hear, and also going on anti-SJW rants, that most of his content was actually very pro-trans, and actually content that was converting conservatives to understanding trans issues.
Yes, yes, and that's true. And that's something I love about Destiny. But I'm really wondering, what was it that Destiny said about trans people that got him banned from Twitch? I want to know what the statement was. Because I make a lot of statements that some people might think are anti-trans, even though they're not. It's what I'm against is when trans people or LGBTQ community does things that hurt themselves. That doesn't further the cause. And by criticizing those things, it sounds like I'm criticizing the community. I'm not. I'm trying to help them with basic reasoning. Sometimes, you know, their heads get clouded up because they're very passionate about, you know, having their freedom. And sometimes those ideas get confused and they don't see themselves for what they actually are. Which is, you know, you're being obnoxious when you're forcing your pronouns on somebody. You're being obnoxious when you're marching down the middle of the street saying we're coming for your children. You know, and there's other stuff too. But those are the basic ones right there that you just got to stop doing that shit. You want to win people over. That's not how you do it. Right? Yeah, you can't say you're coming for people's children. Never stand between someone and their children. Never. You're not going to win. You're going to lose every time.
Seymour Cannabis. Good morning, Nate at Nays Garden NLRC Trendy Osh Dabbers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Win it, Muncha. Have you seen Activision removed Nick Merck's content from COD because he said LGBT community deed to keep our kids out of it? Now everyone is uninstalling COD. It's Josh G. Completely AE.
because he said LGBT community.
Newell Torres. Yep, exactly. Nay, dumbest March chant
Needs
every
to
bro.
keep our kids out of it. That's all he said. Keep our kids. That's what I say. Don't stand between. Hey, LGBT community. I'm going to say it too. LGBTQ community. Hey, don't stand between people and their children. If that's not. It's like how those people that whatever you got going on with your LGBTQ is none of their business. Their children is none of your business. So it works both ways. And if this guy got removed from Activision, was it Activision? Because he said LGBT community need to keep our kids out of it.
Said they should leave the kids alone. That's the real issue.
Well,
It's Josh G.
They should leave the kids alone.
It was a tweet he put out, and they removed his skin from COD.
Okay, no, he's claiming that the LGBTQ community are grooming the children. Well, that's an incorrect statement, and that's not fair. And that would actually be something that someone could get removed off social media for saying. You guys have to realize the intricacies of conversation, of words. And if you can't realize that saying one thing is different than saying another thing, you think they're the same thing, they're not. And Enoch just explained it. He said that's not what he said. What he said was this. Do you see what Enoch did there? Enoch understands it better than you and I were understanding it.
The tweet.
He's got a better grip of it. Well, then it's not fair for you to be trying to portray the tweet if you don't remember the fucking thing. You know, and what you did was you glazed over it, like I wouldn't be surprised that it was you, Josh. You glazed over it a little bit, you know, and in playing telephone with me, you made someone look better than they actually deserve to be made to look. That's not fair for the truth. But you know what is fair? That you don't remember the tweet. That's fair. Oh, it wasn't you that brought it up? My bad. I'm sorry. Who brought it up? Win it, Muncha. Okay. Okay, it's Win It. So it was Win It who misrepresented what was said. My bad, Josh. I apologize, Josh. I got it wrong.
I said all facts from what I gave. He did lose his skin, however.
Well, you know, I would have to see what he said. But if he said this had anything to do with trans people or LGBT community grooming children, that's a fucking problem, man. Because not all the LGBT community is grooming children. In fact, the majority of them are not grooming your children. They don't give a fuck about your kids.
No worries, I'm trying to be more careful with my words.
That's cool. No, don't worry about it, Josh. I thought you were Win It Muncha, which it wouldn't make sense to me if you say one thing and then say, oh, you don't remember the tweet. So my bad for confusing you with Win It Muncha. But Win It. As far as what you saw and what you're talking about, you know, I'd have to see the tweet and see what was said, but I have a feeling it was a good call on Activision. Now that Enoch has chimed in, I have a feeling that was a good call on the part of Activision, and maybe that guy shouldn't have fucking said that. Because that's the same shit that Ron DeSantis says. That's the same shit that Donald Trump says. That's the same shit that all these people that hate the LGBTQ community say about the LGBTQ community. They say they're grooming your children. They're coming after your kids. They're pedophiles. They're child molesters. That's not fair. It's not fair to the LGBTQ community. And let me tell you something. There's a lot of people who aren't in the LGBTQ community who are fucking child molesters. Let's look at that. Let's look at all the heterosexual people that are out there molesting children. You know? I have a feeling those numbers way outnumber the LGBTQ community's, dealings with children. I have a feeling. I don't know the numbers. I just have a feeling, man. That's not what he said.
100%.
Well, look, Win It. We can sit here and argue over what Enoch said compared to what you said, but until we actually see the tweet, I'm not going to know.
Trying to promote gender identity amongst 7-year-olds who are too young to understand. Win It, Muncha. They should leave little children alone. That's the real issue. It's Josh G. We all want to look the other way with that fact, nay.
Win It, you're like a fucking right-wing
cunt.
cunt.
That was the tweet.
Who do you listen to? Fucking Ben Shapiro? Win It?
Not even a bad tweet.
No, it is a bad tweet. It's totally a bad tweet. They should leave little children alone. It makes them sound like they're pedophiles. That's not the real issue. So win it. You're about this close, because I don't like people like you. I fucking hate people like you, actually. I fucking hate people like you. Understand that, win it. You're this close to being removed from my live stream. Not because you and I are having a disagreement, but because your level of disagreement is what I would call discriminating against the LGBT community as a whole. Okay? You're one of the bad people. You're one of the assholes out there. You're one of the... No, it's not no, it's yes. Your own words have convicted you, motherfucker. Your own words that you just said in my chat just now. You convicted yourself, dude.
Bonsai house.
And number two, you're the one that brought this up. You're the one that thought this was an issue to be discussed. This was you. You introduced this, motherfucker. You bring this into my courtroom, I'm going to fucking judge you. Okay? You wanted to lay it down on the table and let it smell up the room. That I'm going to fucking take care of it. I'm going to take care of you too. So until you can admit that you've got some issues around the LGBTQ community and children, you might be projecting, bro. Maybe you're the one that's attracted to little kids. You're trying to, kind of subvert the attention of what we're talking about away from you and direct it more towards the LGBTQ community. Maybe you're the one, since you got such a problem with this, right? You might be projecting.
Slow down, I'm trying to write down all these fire analogies you speak, nay.
Are you keeping track of my analogies? Thank you. So, win it. I don't like you. I don't like you as a human being, okay? You allow yourself to be indoctrinated by right-wing talking points. The LGBTQ community is not coming for your children. They're not going after 7-year-olds and trying to teach them gender identity at the age of 7. You're an idiot if you believe that shit. And
he's patronizing you.
Are there other people out there? What's up, Billy? Are there other people out there that might be in the LGBTQ community that are child molesters and whatever? Oh yeah, I'm sure there are. But you want to talk numbers? You want to talk about where the people that go to prison for it? I guarantee you're going to find out it's the heterosexuals that are really to blame here. So, you're watching the wrong people win it. It's like it's really hard to reach people like you because you're getting your information from someone whose dick you want to suck. And I have a hard time trying to get through to people like you. But my friend Cyber Reload says I have a hard time around this issue because I've never had children. I think it kind of takes the blinders off of me because I've never had children. And I think it gives me a more realistic vision, a more honest snapshot of the truth, more so than if you have children, and that kind of colors your narrative a little bit. Because you're biased. You want to protect your kids. You want to overprotect your kids, right? Not me. I don't fucking care. I see the truth for what it is. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't see the LGBTQ community being a threat to anybody's children.
Ball eater.
I don't know what Win It is, but I don't think Win It's got a lot of time left in my chat. After those comments, those comments are very hard to reconcile. You feel like this right-wing cunt gamer who hates the LGBTQ community, is protecting children. He's not protecting children. What about all those children that are LGBTQ children? You ever think about that? Not all children are heterosexual.
My win, it's it.
And I guarantee you right now, somewhere in the world, there's a 7-year-old child that is questioning their gender right now. And it's legitimate. Who the fuck are you to judge them? I remember being 7 years old, being attracted to women. Oh yeah, I remember that shit. Oh yeah, I remember being 7 years old and being attracted to women. I knew what I liked. I have a feeling that a little LGBTQ 7-year-old would be having those kinds of feelings too, no matter what they're attracted to, but they're going to feel them. You start growing, you start learning.
Newell Torres. Live and let live, just don't push your beliefs on me. That's all.
Right? Why can't she say live? And she says life. Oh, live. She's saying live.
Cannabis heals. Yet I like booby when I was that age.
Yeah. So you're going to tell me that a 7-year-old doesn't understand their sexuality or their gender? Because I remember being 7 years old. And I remember liking girls. Oh, boy. Dude, I remember being in nursery school and being attracted to this little girl named Jody. I remember being in first grade and being attracted to another girl named Lauren. So don't fucking tell me that little kids don't have these feelings yet. Okay? Fuck you. You didn't even take time to fucking try to think about it. You know? So, Win it Muncha, just so you know, I got my eye on you. And I'm going to be watching you closely, and I fucking hope you come around. I hope we made... I wouldn't believe it for a second that this conversation actually had an impact on you. But if it did, let me know in the chat. I need to hear shit like that. I just don't even feel like working with someone like you, you know? I fucking hate right-wingers, man. I hate people that, fascist cunts like you, that want to take people's freedoms away from them based on gender or their sexuality or their differences from you that you don't understand. Fuck you, get over it. Go take a goddamn class. You know, go learn about it. Fucking idiot. You gotta manipulate AI, it's easy. Live to be live. Right? Yeah. You gotta, I got it. I got you. Yes. You have to fool the algorithms into saying the words as you want them said. Anyway, I want to get back into this Destiny video, but I want to do a dab first. And I'm going to dab this oil that came off my dabber, and we're going to see if it's any good. We'll see if it's terpless or if it's flavorful. Terpless or flavorful. Terpless or flavorful.
Will Torres. I slept like a log son.
That was kind of random. I don't know where that statement came from. Alright, we're going to try this dab and see if it's any good. I'm kind of scaled. I'm very scaled. And we're going to watch Rossman while we do it. Cheers.
Number of different examples here, dating back to 2017, whether you have this debate, whether you have, let's see, what do you have over here? Again, transracialism back in 2017.
No longer going to get him. Cheers.
Debating this, another one. There's just a bunch of these. My internet's kind of slow right now, so you're not getting the picture on a lot of them. Again, this was an interesting one where he got a conservative to understand that side. This is another one. And another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. So I just fundamentally don't buy that. There was another reason that was given, which is that it was because he had hate rated somebody, and there is considerable evidence that that never happened. Again, that you would have had to be a time traveler for that to happen. And then there are people saying, well, it must be because he talked to people that he's not supposed to talk to. And what I find particularly interesting about this is that in the New York Times, they did an article 3 years ago. Now, there's certain elements of this article that I kind of rolled my eyes at. The original picture they used for this article kind of mixed together people that I thought just didn't belong
That's really good.
Mixed together, but whatever. But in this particular article from the New York Times, they're actually talking about how somebody was de-radicalized from further right content as a result of actually listening to Destiny speak to some of the people that he was listening to. Because he understands that if you want to actually get people to think differently, or you want somebody to be open to new ideas, you have to meet them where they are with their ideas. And he's been one of the few people who's been willing to do that in many different communities over the past several years, and I think he's done a lot of good for the world as a result. And the idea that you're simply going to fucking ban him off a platform where there's so much illegal shit, you have people watching copyrighted material, you have people watching pay-per-view television on Twitch, you have people that are, again, like doing push-ups with their camera zoomed in on their tits and blowing microphones and giving them blowjobs for $1. And then on this platform, you have people
what channel is that?
each other all day.
Holy shit!
All the garbage that is on this platform, you're going to ban someone that has done this much good?
Louis Rossman is way more skilled and aware of what's on the fucking internet than I am, and I can't believe it. I thought he was always up in his little laboratory repairing shit. But no, he's all over that internet, bro. I had no idea all that shit was on Twitch. What? Have you guys ever heard of that?
Holly Horn. Hi, Nick.
Hey, Holly. Follow me on Twitter, all my accounts. Follow me on Facebook, all my accounts. Ben Shader on Facebook. Follow me on Twitch, Holly. Follow me on Kick. Follow me on Rumble. If you follow me across all of those, you're bound to get a notification. Okay? I'm glad you're here, though. I'm glad you figured out I was live.
Sure. It's called porn. Enoch Emmanuel Torres.
What?
Yep, lick sucking suck your succubus.
Dude, there's Twitch streamers who will suck on their microphone and act like it's a dick. What the fuck is that? And they charge people for that? I guess you all are well more versed on the internet than I am.
Crap. Do I agree with everything he says?
I
Do
feel
I
like
think
such an
everything
old
has been
man.
perfect? No,
Holly
but that's not
Horn.
what's going to be true for people who
Yes,
stream
Canadian
8 to 10
fires
hours
are
a
still
fucking
burning.
day every single day
Enoch
for 10 years.
Emmanuel Torres.
Sometimes they're going to put their foot in their
Tell me
mouth,
how
and
that's
sometimes
okay,
you
like
might
make
just
it
want to
make
weigh
sense, bro.
the good that they've done.
Tell me how that's okay. How what's okay, Enoch? Tell you how what's okay.
Bonsai house. No, they blow in the mic as if it was your ear.
Whatever.
Holly Horn.
Done for the war.
I know, it's an 18 to suck the mic.
Suck the mic. Dude.
With the things that pissed you off. And
Enoch
I
Emmanuel
honestly don't even
Torres.
really necessarily.
The mic sucking. Holly Horn.
I don't know, bro.
It's annoying.
It's amazing that it even exists. And I don't know whether to blame the content creator or to blame the audience member. I don't. I used to think that ASMR stuff was so whack and so stupid. And then I saw how many people were watching it. And I'm like, there's a demand for that. It's the same thing when I went to Destiny's chat and we started watching some of the other pod. Now, Destiny is intriguing. It's great content all the time.
House.
Almost all the
That's
time.
my new thing to say to 20-somethings.
Some of it's garbage.
Go suck your
Most of
blue
it's
Yeti,
interesting.
bitch.
But when we start watching some of the Orbiters, and I'm like, this guy eats his own fingers. All right.
Enoch Emmanuel Torres.
This dude picks his
It's
nose
stupid. Go watch for yourself. It gets old fast, bro.
and womanizes people, womanizes women live on his channel. He literally sits there and treats them like objects, and like he's flipping through a deck of cards. And thousands of people watching. Thousands of people watching. You know, when I was their age, I was selling cannabis out of my apartment playing video games all day.
So if I can get 1,000 people to sniff their own shit, you'll like it.
Not me, bro. I'm just saying millions of people, they find value in it. Not me. You think I want to watch a kid eat his fingers? And toes? He eats his toes? That made $100 million, bro. Dude eats his toes. $100 million.
About the times that he has actually put his foot in his mouth. I think this is about people that aren't able to engage on his level, that aren't able to actually have the conversations on his level, that just want him gone. You're going to ban somebody who's been on that platform for 10 years, who's probably done a lot of good for online discourse, probably gotten a lot of people out of their echo chambers, probably gotten a lot of people talking to each other that never would have talked before, simply because you're salty. I find that to be personally disgusting. I stand with Destiny, fuck Twitch for banning him, and one of the things that I figured I would do, least thing I could do, is delete my account. So this is my Twitch page over here, and I will not have a Twitch page anymore after this. I actually just have to do the two-factor authentication code thing over here. We're gonna do that.
Nice!
My code is 7296173.
Whoa,
Number
dude!
my
Joke,
computer,
delete the app.
and yeah.
Wow! Holy shit! Wow, dude.
Fields. Twitch are scumbags IAE.
Wow. That's fucking awesome, dude. He deleted his fucking Twitch account.
Fuck you, Twitch. Seriously, you have no idea what you've done. I forget who said it. I'm really pissed that I can't credit them, but they said something along the lines of, it's very difficult for certain groups to tell who is an imperfect ally and an enemy. And they treat you like an enemy rather than treating you as an imperfect ally. And I think that that is an absolute crying shame. You have no idea how many people are not going to be exposed to new ideas, who are not going to be able to leave their echo chambers, who are not going to be able to have conversations and discourse with their fellow man and woman again as a result of you deleting one of the best channels that was on Twitch for helping people get out of them. And I understand that there are a lot of people that are going to say, I hate this person because of his opinion and blah, 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 blah. I did a community post in defense of him, and a lot of people who are commenting with some of the top upvoted comments saying, screw him, he believes X. And I've listened to his streams long enough to know that not only did he never say X, but he doesn't believe X. But the amount of upvotes that it got was enough to convince me that there are people out there that rather than being able to make a rational argument against something that he said or engage, that they just want to be able to kind of throw red paint on him and then have all the little, all the little robots go up and attack, because that actually works. It's a very effective way of slandering people. And there are also people out there that have said, well, there was a person, let's hypothetically say that they're actually, I don't believe they're correct. Let's say that one of the people in this community did something that was incorrect to somebody else. When you have a stream where you have 10,000 or 5,000 or 15,000 people watching live, do you control those people? Like, do you have control over those people? You have less control over those people than Future Motion does over people replacing batteries in their electric skateboards. And this is something that I've discussed in a recent video that particularly pissed me off, where you have a politician that said that he got an anonymous threat, and as a result of that anonymous threat, he was not going to consider a bill that I was pushing forward because he claims that anonymous threat came from somebody who watched my video, or maybe from me. As if I have control over my audience. As if when 125,000 people on a channel with over 1 million subscribers watch a video, that I get to personally control the actions of every single one of those people. I find it to be a disgusting way of shutting down discourse, a disgusting way of slandering a human being by claiming that you are a bad person because one of the people that watched your video did something that I don't approve of. Particularly when the person who made the video wouldn't even approve of that being done. I think it's a really, really low effort and disgusting way to shut people down. And I think Twitch should be ashamed of themselves. And I think the people that are applauding this right now really have no idea how much damage that they are doing to their communities, because that was one of the best bridges that you had from people who disagree with you to potentially understanding your issues and wanting to get out of their own echo chambers. Honestly, if there is damage that is done as a result of there being less of these bridges, well, you did it to yourself. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. And if you're one of the people at Twitch that was responsible for this, fuck you.
Hell yeah. So now let's watch the latest upload that he did about the same thing. Addressing permaban and the trans question. Twitch ban manifesto part 1. Who is that? Destiny. Dude, I kind of want to watch that instead.
Welcome to the end of all things. We have our cute little table of contents. I don't know why. Presentation, that's why. This document was made possible by the tireless contributions and assistance from many in my chat, including, in no particular order, Can't Close Vim, Docs, Brodeezy, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, Punished Fury, Tick Brady, Cyber Vegan, on our wonderful champion effort poster of the subreddit, Wannabe Sad Boy. The beginning. It's a dangerous business, Frodo, going out your front door. You step onto the road, if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to. From Bilbo Baggins. from The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. I was a streamer on Twitch TV for 3,943 days, from June 6th, 2011 till March 23rd, 2022. In that time, I've been a StarCraft II ladder hero, a StarCraft II semi-pro turned entertainment streamer, the most popular Twitch streamer for about a year, an aspiring League of Legends player, variety game entertainer.
Did any of you guys know that in the chat? That didn't come over from Destiny's. Did any of you guys know that about Destiny?
Finally, an online political pundit. Before Twitch, I streamed on Twitch's predecessor, Justin TV. Before that, I streamed on livestream.com and ustream.tv, before streaming was even an established medium.
Cannabis heals.
I am many things. Many things have been said about me. I'm obnoxiously abrasive, oftentimes far too hyperbolic, and can be annoyingly offensive. Can also be incredibly passionate, fiercely driven, sometimes...
Dude, that's fucking... Dude, it's just so brutally, perfectly accurate what he just said about himself. It's crazy.
...to a fault. Do not consider myself to be nice, but I am kind. Don't consider myself to be very friendly, but I am, without question, a good friend. This document is vast and encompasses many different topics. By the end of this journey, I will have established the following things: a brief overview, the start and end of my political project on Twitch, a detailed understanding of my transpositions and how they came to be.
This is going to be a little
comprehensive
random.
overview of who I am and who people say.
If you don't learn about Nazis when you're a little kid, like I did, you might, when people get older, you might notice people have
and deep throating mics is okay,
curiosity
but when you
around
speak your
it.
mind, here comes the purple Nazis banning freedom on speech. Bonsai house. This is proof there's no God.
I don't even want to ask you, Billy, how it is. I don't even want to ask you. But you might notice someone that's maybe wasn't given that education as a child, which I was, about Nazism and Nazis and World War II and the Holocaust and what happened to the victims of that. And later on in life, you might be interested in it and show an interest in it. And I realize when I see someone showing an interest in it, they don't fully understand the depth of it because they weren't taught at a younger age. I totally get it, man. I get when someone is showing that. When I first started watching Destiny, he was like, dude, look at this. What is this? What's this symbol right here? People are like, it's SS, bro. It's a fucking Nazi symbol. It's like, really? No! I'm going to put it on my t-shirts, man. I was like, what the? I was trying to figure the guy out. I was like, what is this guy? You know, what's he got going on inside his brain that he would entertain that? And, you know, now I've watched him for such a at length, you know, hours I've been watching, I'm like, I get that fucking fascination, you know, he'll get over that, I have a feeling, pretty quick. People hate that shit, and trying to use it as a troll isn't gonna work, you know.
The lies spread about me and my community and how they're created, and Vouch's central role in the propagation of malevolence towards me and my community. The birth of Twitch politics. A good quote from a friend of the stream, Albert Einstein. The world, as we have created it, is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. I have quotes for every section.
I love how,
because I know how much you like them.
Dude, I love how full of himself and pompous he is. I fucking love that. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like Alice Cooper in Wayne's World, where he sticks his fucking hand out. He's like, yes, you may kiss my ring. It's like, fucking, dude, that's how he's acting, and I fucking love that shit.
For every quote. In the beginning, I've always had an interest in philosophy, science, and politics. Even throughout the early days of my streaming, I often venture off into topics.
Destiny should have to go back. Destiny should have to go back and watch this, man. This is fucking great. Oh my god.
The discussion of these subjects was always peripheral to gameplay, however, and it wasn't until 2016, the rise of Trump, that I decided to take political discussions a bit more seriously. I thought online political discourse at the
I'll be
time
right
was
back.
characterized by a fundamental misunderstanding of what was factually true on both sides of the political discourse. I figured, at the time, perhaps naively, that I could contribute to and shape this dialogue in a more meaningful way to improve the state of online discourse. 2016 days of online politics were best characterized by the likes of Armored Skeptic, Thunderfoot, Sargon of Akkad, and the Amazing Atheist. The arguments were rife with what I would later call gamer bro politics, a center-left social ideology with a special disdain for third-wave feminism and LGBT issues. Look at how cute this picture is. The Four Horsemen, guys. Oh, it says the iconoclast at the end. I'm sorry. The political content these figures
God damn it.
specialized in
Sorry.
was essentially the lampooning, the blue-haired, overweight
Look,
feminist
I'm gonna pause
seen
it.
screeching, and Ben Shapiro owned.
Did I miss anything in the last 30 seconds, guys? I'm so sorry. I didn't even have to get up. My mom was
Josh.
outside the front door.
You missed it. I think he referenced Thunderfoot.
Really? Okay, thank you, Josh. Thank you for telling me. Okay, let's take it back. All right, cool. I don't want to miss that shit. All right. Fucking A, bro. Here we go.
16 days of online politics were best characterized by the likes of Armored Skeptic, Thunderfoot, Sargon of Akkad, and the Amazing Atheist.
Right.
The arguments were rife
Dude.
with what I would later call gamer
Two of them of people that I watched all the time when I first got on YouTube. It was Amazing Atheist and Thunderfoot.
bro politics, a center-left social ideology with a special disdain for third-wave feminism and LGBT issues.
Yes.
Look at how cute this picture is.
Right.
The Four Horsemen, guys.
Right.
Oh, it says the iconoclast at the end. I'm sorry. The political content these figures specialized in was essentially the lampooning, the blue-haired, overweight feminist seen screeching in Ben Shapiro owns college student compilation videos.
Right.
In those early days of 2016, no one on Twitch, or the gaming community in general really, was representing left-leaning or progressive social positions, so I decided to toss my hat into the ring. Coming from an aggressively toxic internet background gave me the unique ability to communicate with younger people, gamers, in a language they understood while still representing a distinctly progressive agenda, something that, at that point, was only really talked about by those who were perceived as
This is
outsiders,
fucking
such as Anita Sarkeesian
extensive.
and Brianna Wu. Early days politically on Twitch were rife with racism, sexism, and transphobia. I don't know how much of this I need to prove to show people. We got the try-hard spams, GGX gangs.
Wow.
Oh, we got videos? Oh, wait, hold on.
That's crazy. Oh, wow! Look at this Greek shining example of your community, right here, Greek. Try hard, God CX waiting room. Shining example.
It was quite the place.
Dude.
These are just screenshots from a lot of
Completely
random
out of
Liverpool
Covfefe,
Twitch
and I'm
streams,
so
Twitch chats.
sad.
Most stream chats were initially combative against me, as Gamergate politics had taken hold strong in the larger Twitch communities, and it wasn't uncommon that I would receive massive waves of harassment after every panel or debate I participated in. What link is this? Oh, people would always get mad. Destiny said everything is bad except liberalism. Destiny is a commie scum. Destiny wants communism. Liberal, by the way. Oh, this is back when on Twitch, every time somebody called you a liberal, they were actually a conservative insulting you. Now on Twitch, when people call you a liberal, it's because they're a communist. Political, I can't read that word, but geez. What a world we came from. This harassment included 3 separate visits from the FBI. For some of these links, I just include me talking about things in the past, I guess, so if people click through and they think I'm making shit up, you can see I've talked about this for a while. I don't think we have to watch every single thing I've linked, but 3 separate visits from the FBI, people coordinating messages to send to law enforcement falsely incriminate me, including cutting up past discussions I've had or a video of me showcasing my Glock in an attempt to make it sound like I'm encouraging people to kill conservatives.
Whoa.
I don't know if I've ever posted these messages before, but
FBI? Are you...
these were some of the people that would create alts on Reddit to tell people how to
He's
spam report me to
he's
the
showing
FBI.
the post.
Destiny had said some things a few days ago about bombing a hospital and killing the families of a viewer who he was having issues with. Shortly after, Destiny, who's already in legal trouble and being sued, realized the legal implications of letting his plan to blow up a hospital leak and tried to play it off as a joke. I know most people here are, like Destiny, psychopathic and mentally ill, but if there's any sane people here, I strongly encourage you to report Destiny to the FBI.
God, can you
They will
believe
likely
that?
SWAT and raid his location as they should, and by reporting this terrorist, you can save lives. You can report him anonymously by phoning this number, or you can submit a report on the FBI's website here. Make sure to include this clip of him threatening to kill the viewer's family, then blow up the hospital. I've already reported him multiple times, as have some of my friends, so Destiny will be inevitably swatted. But if you're not mentally ill, like most Destiny
Wow.
viewers, I encourage you to report him as well, so you can get this freak off the streets before it's too late.
Wow.
Been doxxed multiple times across multiple addresses. I've had people searching for my child's and his mother's address. Multiple DDoSes on both my personal connection and across all of my websites. Tens of thousands of hateful messages across Twitter, including death threats and graphic death and rape depictions of my son. Thousands of hacking attempts across my bank accounts,
Jesus
emails, Reddit
Christ,
accounts, cell
bro.
phones, and
It
other
ain't
private
worth
bank
it.
accounts. Investigations
God.
into Jewish and Arabic donors in my community. For a time, 4chan was trying to figure out who, like, Hadri was, who was a donor in my community, where Dan comes from. I think at some point they said I was Jewish. Can we look into this Mr. Mutin figure? He seems to be in a lot of Destiny videos. From what I can tell, he's some guy Destiny shielded to his community. Did Mr. Mutin pay him? Is he also a Jew? His name in the community is Hadri. He's Destiny's biggest donator.
so
Destiny only has truly
cringe,
4
bro.
main guys financing him. The other 100 kids are chump change. The ones I know of are Hadri, Harken, sick, which is a wealthy Jewish guy Destiny did a stream visiting. He's a big Bitcoin investor. Lately, he bought a building and made a big mining facility. Oh, they even link articles and everything.
Bonsai
Nice
house.
job. Oh my God, I didn't even see
I'm
this
not
link at the
touching
bottom.
that with a
52 more
10-foot pole.
images. I don't know if I even
Yeesh.
want to
No,
scroll
bro.
in on this, but yeah, decent amount of time spent trying to figure out who everybody in my community was.
I got the volume all the way up.
People posting images of my house on pull, telling me they're going to show up to where I live. Spam chargebacks across hundreds of credit card donations. Dozens of catfishing attempts to solicit nudes, passwords, or personal information from me. Spam reporting of my YouTube and Twitter account, coordinated by multiple online communities, almost forcing me to quit online politics. I remember a long time ago, I think it was the FBI stuff, and all the spam reporting was stressing me out. I think I took a break from debate and politics. We're not going to listen to this 46-minute video, but I recorded this like 4 years ago. Multiple attempts to contact my son via his social media. People sending inappropriate, hateful messages to my mother on Facebook and Twitter. Racist and hateful spam across my donation platforms using stolen credit cards. Racist and hateful brigades across my chat rooms, Discord, and subreddit. I had a leaked dick picture incorporated into a cascading style sheet of a subreddit hosted on official Reddit servers that wasn't removed until I made a Reddit post that reached the #1 spot of r all complaining about it. That was a wild time. Had several communities dedicated to spamming my sponsors and the clients of my sponsors with complaints to get me removed from teams or sponsorships.
Bonsai house. All this isn't
what a
surprising. If you are monstrous
part
with
of
a
the
big crowd, you'll
wild
always
ride we've
be
been
under
on.
attack.
Dude, not like
Despite
this.
the harassment from
Wait,
others,
hey,
the
hey.
chagrin of the broader Twitch chatting
If
and
you
gaming
are
community, I managed to
monstrous
carve
with a
out a
big
decent
crowd-
space for myself doing political content.
Dude, you think Joe Rogan has to deal with this kind of stuff? I don't know, man. I mean, I think there's a lot of entertainers out there. Like, how many death threats do you think someone like... I'm trying to think of it like a giant podcaster. Like, with like giant following. I mean, I wonder how many death threats Steven Crowder's getting, or Ben Shapiro.
House. Yup, that's why Rogan doesn't read chats or comments.
Dude, the shit that Destiny is saying is so far beyond the pale. It is so sad and unreal that he's had to deal with all of this.
Twitch. I was the sole occupant of the space for about 2 years before the first wave of Twitch political descendants, Hassan and Irish Laddie, would mutate and slither out of my community. The Chubber and the Chadwick.
Man.
On December 26th, 2012, I had my second discussion with a shit Reddit Says community member, Ian Kaczynski, known online as Irish Laddie, about feminism, rape culture, and other political and social topics. 2012. Old videos.
Problem is, fundamentally, the problem with
One of
that
my first chats
is that,
with a good friend of the
there's
stream,
something called
Ian.
enthusiastic consent. Okay,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
something that we
Okay,
give them.
2012, December. What a blast from the past. Shit Reddit Says was a subreddit of highly active, radical progressive posters who were well known for brigading and harassing other communities across Reddit with what they perceived as anti-LGBT and progressive views. Though they also arguably led the charge to getting the notorious Jailbait subreddit and other jailbait-like subreddits banned from Reddit, SRS was eventually neutered effectively by one of the admins. According to ex-CEO Yishan, a large number of their posters were banned due to excessive brigading and harassment even after multiple warnings to moderators. Irish Laddie would go on to have several conversations with me and other members of my community before being ousted for a long-term sexual harassment event that took place in my Discord community. To distance himself from these accusations, he changed his name to Vosh and began a YouTube channel January of 2019.
Oh.
Hassan Piker established
I didn't know
himself
that.
early
Okay, I
on
got
as
it.
a frat boy content contributor on his uncle's show, The Young Turks, and eventually would go on to do light pop political commentary videos on The Young Turks Facebook page. He would then try his hand at streaming on Twitch in early 2018, though he'd have difficulty breaking past double-digit viewership until reaching out to me in October of 2018 to review a debate of his against Charlie Kirk. Over the next several months, Hassan and I would frequently collaborate across both of our streams and popular Twitch shows, including the Raj Royale and Trainwrecks podcasts. I don't know what clips I chose here for some of this.
Okay, that explains a lot now.
I guess these articles must have impressed Chank because he was allowed to adapt the blog
Oh, it's just
into
like,
a series for TYT University.
Just an explanation of some of the stuff that he did when he went on to work for the Young Turks. Okay. What is this? Hassan Piker destroys viral conservative car rant. Oh, this is a link to one of his Facebook videos. Okay. I never know how much I need to link or source or document because I feel like if I make a claim, you need to have some kind of like backing for it. But maybe I can just say some of this stuff and you just agree with it without sourcing. I don't know. Soy up.
Take your supplements, Destiny.
I will be I'll be linking a Google Doc to this when I finish, okay? The Great Schism. While I had built a reputation fighting with conservatives and alt-righters across the internet, gaining enough notoriety to be featured across multiple profile pieces on Mother Jones and Slate, as well as mentioned in a New York Times podcast, an article about de-radicalizing alt-righters, why wouldn't I link this here? It really makes you think. I was unaware that I was doing a poor job at establishing a better foundation of thought for the people I was bringing over from far-right extremism. Instead of replacing the extremist mindset of many far-right people with a more rational one, I was simply trading out one extremist far-right mindset for an extremist far-left one. I underestimated the amount of actual communists and socialists in my fan base, foolishly assuming many people were only joking when they made comments about it, as I'd always been a social democrat who believed in capitalism with strong government interventions. An uncomfortable turmoil would grow amidst my fans anytime I had a strong disagreement with any figure to my left. These conflicts would culminate in a massive schism in my fan base, jump-started in July of 2019 over a disagreement about Kamala Harris, among other things, with Hassan, with me eventually bleeding off thousands of viewers over the next few months to both Ian and Hassan. I think this is the Kamala Harris video. I think somebody wrote a huge summary of all the events leading up to the big Destiny Hassan split.
Dumb bitch.
I won't read through this entire thing. This is going to be long enough. The trans question. According to discoveryphds.com, the average master's dissertation length is approximately 20,000 words, whilst a PhD thesis is approximately 80,000 to 100,000
How old
words.
is this video?
This document contains over 32,200.
It's from 11 months ago.
70 words and 490 external links. I will never write anything this long again in my life.
I mean, his hair's
Indefinite
not
suspension.
blue.
It's not
Bonsai
about how
house.
hard you hit. It's about
How
how
much
hard you
noise
can
you
get
think
hit
his
and
expensive
keep moving
foam job
forward.
absorbs?
From the movie Rocky Balboa, a horrible movie.
It's
Anybody that says otherwise is
it'll
lying to
cut
you.
down on an echo for sure, bro. That is actually it's a good thing to put up on the wall right there.
The official
That
reason.
little bit.
Twitch sent me an email on March 23rd notifying me
you
my
can hear
account
the
was
echo?
permanently suspended for
I
hateful
guarantee
conduct.
you it's
Hair,
less
LOL,
because
good.
of that piece of foam. That's
Take a moment,
It's in a good spot.
absorb it all.
It's on a
There's
big
lot of
flat
people
area
quote
that's
a lot of
reflecting.
dumb shit related to Twitch.
If you
to try
did
to
it on the
claim why they
wall
got
next
banned.
to it, it would help more. But
10,000 viewers, but only 1,000 likes. So like 9,000 bots. Is that true? Are there 9,000 bots in my
Four
YouTube
days.
stream right now? Can I get some
Hey, how
goddamn
much to suck
likes
the mic?
on my fucking stream? Hey, are you watching my stream on YouTube right now and you haven't liked the stream yet? Is it because you're a bot? Soy up.
he says soy up. It's so funny. Oh, I gave him a like. There you go. Yes, we're watching it. I did not give you a thumbs up yet. Sorry, Destiny.
The email does not specify what words were used or what exactly was said on stream, though it does provide some links to the hateful conduct section of Twitch's community guidelines. As I was not a partnered streamer on Twitch at the time of my suspension, I unfortunately have no other way of gathering any specific information related to my suspension. I've attempted to appeal twice, requesting information relating to my suspension, but I've only been answered with automated rejections. My speculation. With no direct and clear communication relating to my ban, there's not much for me to speculate on. It's possible that my position that trans women ought to be excluded from NCAA and professional athletic competitions against cis women fell in direct violation of Twitch's hateful conduct and harassment guidelines, which states calls for
Okay. So he has to speculate. They didn't tell him what it was that he said. Bro, he got banned for something that I and most of you probably also totally agree with. For having that opinion. I totally agree with that. I agree with that opinion right there. That's on screen, guys. I want you to know that. It's just common sense, dude. And he's common sensing it. And that's something I like about him. He got banned permanently from Twitch for having that opinion. I've stated my opinion on that multiple times on Twitch. I guess, I'm so algorithmed and not watched that nobody knows that I've said that repeatedly. All right, let me see what else he says here.
segregation or exclusion, including political, economic, and social exclusion and segregation, based on a protected characteristic, including age. We do, however, allow discussion on certain topics, such as immigration policy, voting rights for non-citizens,
We allow
effective sports participation,
discussions on
as long
these
as the content
topics.
is not directly denigrating.
Fuck you, Twitch. Fuck you. You shouldn't be the people who determine what conversations people are allowed to have and what conversations they're not allowed to have. That is fucking psychotic. Who the fuck are you?
Based on a protected characteristic.
Twitch is known for perma banning people without explanation or a weak one.
Wait, why are we all saying
Did the
nice
same
community
to Chilean, a
Vosh?
huge streamer and partner on YouTube.
Well, fuck Twitch, dude. God damn.
Oh. I'm sorry. That should have been in the manifesto.
Fuck Twitch.
Jesus. Don't give me... Hold on, I gotta go away for 5 minutes now. Damn, I'm sorry. I can't. It's also possible that any number of comments I've made concerning certain individuals or online activist communities constituted hateful conduct, as it's impossible to determine what constitutes hateful at any given point in time, and since it seems to be a moving target at Twitch depending on the year and the streamer, it's impossible for me to say. Shout out to VGG that's watching us right now. Thank you for the kind words. What does that symbol mean? Is that guy is he a sub? Rumors. Tier 1 sub. Oh, they have tiered subs in the fortress? That's crazy. I feel like I have blueprints to that fortress. Many across Twitter and Twitch have speculated numerous reasons for why I've been suspended. Well, these reasons are unlikely unless Twitch made a mistake in their email to me. It had nothing to do with platforming Fuentes during a debate for 10 minutes, as the suspension would not have been for hateful content, but for aiding and ban evasion. The suspension also had nothing to do with anything posted on Twitter, as the email specified that the conduct occurred on stream. Others have speculated that my suspension occurred for hate raids, harassment, or other forms of brigading, but again, none of these were specified in the email sent by Twitch, and none of them fall under hateful conduct. Political considerations. Many from both the right and left speculated on how this ban will affect my political stances concerning not only trans people, but more broadly across the entire spectrum of social and political issues. Many find it apt to define their political positions based on the social groups they belong to, or to their reactions to opposing social groups. I have maintained an incredibly stable internal moral philosophy, the greatest amount of good should be created for the greatest number of people, that I've used to generate my political positions. To this day, that moral philosophy remains unchanged. Some claim that the political positions I occupy are ones I arrived at spitefully, but the reality is that conversations take different shapes depending on who's participating. If I were to argue about BLM against a progressive figure far to the left of me, I imagine a lot of our conversations would revolve around the effectiveness of rioting and how much of the protest can be characterized as such. It's entirely possible that we'd spend an entire conversation with arguing that rioters should be punished, property owners should defend their businesses, and the government should be taking a more active role intervening against the violence. But perhaps the next conversation were to be against a conservative who believes BLM has no legitimate grievances. In this conversation, I may point to the idea of riots being the language of the unheard, and that there are, at the very least, the perceptions of systemic issues that require addressing in some manner. Otherwise, it's foolish to simply complain that the problems start and stop with only the rioting. I haven't really changed positions in either of these conversations. I'm merely representing a different shade of my position based on the direction the other person is heading in the conversation. Also, it's entirely possible, if not expected, that my social or political positions may evolve over time. It's not because of spite, though. Rather, it's because I've discovered a new political position that more closely adheres to my guiding moral principles. Finally, let me say this. You may have seen many inflammatory 30-second video clips of me on Twitter or YouTube. I will no longer attempt to defend these statements because most of them are indefensible. I do not make 30-second videos, and I cannot defend a 30-second statement.
Okay, I want to stop right there. It is very often that Destiny will make a hyperbolic statement that, it just to just rattle his opponent because he's sick of their ignorance to facts, right? And they'll be like, so you want to see a baby dead a day before a baby is supposed to be born. And he'll be like, yes, I want to see a baby dead the day before it's born, and I want to see it brought out and brought apart with a chainsaw. He's like, or an axe handle I would like, and he starts going through all these weapons and shit because he's being hyperbolic and silly. And I can see people taking a clip of him saying whatever and making him look bad. And don't you have fucking time? Can't your time be better spent doing other shit, you fucking losers? This is what you do?
Just posted a 30-second clip of me. That video is not my content. That video is their content. There are many viral video moments of me that look bad, largely because they lack the context of the conversation surrounding the clip.
Of course.
Even within the full context of the conversation, the soundbite may be spicy, but it's nowhere near as hateful as people attempt to portray. One of the things I'll be addressing in this document is the importance of engaging with my source material when making political arguments. I don't want to argue against a 20-second representation of someone's argument. I want to extract the essence of their argument, the strongest form, and fight against that. I expect others to extend that same courtesy to me. dysphoric discourse.
It's Josh.
But you can only lie about who you are for so long.
Sorta. Tate is a diff case, but still seems like cancellation here.
They did this shit to fucking Alex Jones way before they did it to Andrew Tate. Don't give Andrew Tate credit by putting him on a fucking term, Josh. Andrew Tating. Stop that shit. Fucking right-winger.
Going crazy.
True.
From Ellen Whitlinger from the book Parrotfish. Many ask, why debate trans-related topics at all? It affects a niche percentage of the population, with some estimates saying less than 1% of people are trans. It is
What? Alright, be careful. Have a nice workout.
And then I'm going grocery shopping.
Okay.
You want anything?
Grapes.
Grapes I have on my list.
Alright.
Nothing else? Cuban? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, see you.
Cuban sandwich. Fucking love them.
divisive. It invites, maybe even begs, misinterpretation.
Josh
It opens you up to
Jones
liability
has
from
been to the
disagreements.
Zimmer generation.
Most people on either end of the
Still give him credit here. Apologies. Ha ha ha.
Well, yeah, people have been silenced on social media before, Tate. You know. Fucking dude. I got silenced on social media back in fucking 2013.
too dug in to ever even consider changing their minds. I argue about transpositions for the following reasons. 1, transpositions help you explore another person's view of their morality and how they view the world. 2, trans discourse is especially prone to being incredibly poor, so it's a conversation I want to improve. 3, there's poor representation among people who support trans issues on the internet.
That's true.
And 4, I have a sizable trans community in my own audience.
Nice.
Many have incredibly strong views about gender and sex and their place in our society, yet have little understanding of how these concepts are constructed. While they're quick to push you for definitions about what is a man or a woman, you ask them the same question, they'll quickly default to definitions surrounding chromosomes and genitalia, rejecting the sex-gender distinction, while neglecting the fact that we determine someone's gender 99% of the time without ever having access to either of those pieces of information. The reality is that sex and gender are complicated topics that are worth having complicated discussions over. Even if we all broadly agree on 98% of gender and sex definitions, there's no harm in pushing the boundary a bit if we can encompass a few more people in society to drastically improve the quality of their lives without causing harm to anyone else. The state of trans discourse on the internet is abysmal. It seems that on one extreme of the argument, you have genuinely transphobic figures who don't believe trans people even exist.
Right.
These people say trans people should be denied healthcare, community support,
Right.
opportunities to integrate into society,
Right.
and feel that their entire existence shouldn't be acknowledged as anything other than mental delusion.
Right.
On the other end of things, you've got people who want to eliminate women's sports, unquestioningly affirm every single person's belief that they're trans, even if
Right.
they're a 4 or 5-year-old child,
Right.
claim that trans women experience periods,
Right.
attack lesbians for their dating preferences, and claim that not wanting to have sex with a trans person is transphobic.
Right.
It's important to acknowledge the biological distinction between trans and cis people so that we can have a realistic conversation about how best to integrate trans people into society in as many ways as possible. I feel like we all know conservatives say this shit, so I don't have to source it. But I wanted to have sources for every time I've heard somebody or seen.
I know. That's what I like about Destiny, man. He's very accurate. This is dead. What he just said is fucking all dead on.
Seen somebody make this claim. I try to make sure that whenever I source an
I
opinion
commend
here,
him in
too,
his
that
accuracy.
these are pretty popular things, or there are stories written about them. Like this
It's
tweet
top
had
of the hour.
85,000 likes.
Time
Okay, I'm a
to
trans woman who's
smoke.
experiencing her first period cramps, and what the fuck? I've literally trans women don't get periods. This tweet was over 100,000 likes. Not wanting to date trans women stems from you all not viewing them as real women. So yes, your preference is transphobic. I think there was a BBC story here written about the lesbians who feel pressured to have sex and relationships with trans women. Just goes on to talk about some of that. From Destiny. Wait, was something... Was the person's name Destiny? Did I not even notice that? Oh shit, it is. Oh man, the simulation's breaking down, guys. A few stories of what I did when my 4-year-old told me that he's transgender. Mom opens up about raising a 5-year-old son who is transgender. Just... okay. Trans supporters, along with many other supporters of issues that are considered left on the internet, like sex workers, seem to be ubiquitously tied to extremist leftist economic and political ideologies. Almost any trans-supporting public figure you find on the internet seems to identify as a socialist, communist, or some type of anarchist. I think it's positive to show that a moderately positioned person can be staunchly in favor of trans rights, and it demonstrates that you don't necessarily need to embrace an entire change of economy or government in order to respect and accommodate trans people in daily life.
Bonsai
From
house.
those in the back. Okay, this
So
is the
the
most
FBI
controversial
think Bob Ross
section,
may have been
and
a
you'll see
serial
why in a
killer.
second. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Really?
The nature of political and social discourse lends itself to conversations that involve a wide breadth of experiences foreign to myself. One of the most valuable tools available to me is soliciting others for feedback to ensure that my opinions are
See that right there? That's not a mistake right there. That's just me stabbing you a little bit. That's right. That's a pretty little cut I'm putting right there on your face. That's all that is. That's a nice red color. You see that? Well, that's a deep, deep red color. We're just gonna mix that in here. See now, that's a nice sun. That's a pretty little sunset right there. See that? See what we did there? That's a pretty little
lived
sunset.
realities of many of those I speak for. Trans experiences are no different.
New bong.
Before I get into any detailed accounting, my social and
No
legal
longer gonna
positions on
cannabis
trans
tears,
issues,
really.
I'd like to cite 31 excerpts from the hundreds of emails I've gotten from my trans viewers over the past few months. I understand there may be a selection bias due to the types of people who are more likely to watch me, but all I can do is ask for experiences from my audience and listen. I believe that will better lay the groundwork for the development of my perspective and why I have the positions I do on these topics. Do I want to read every single one of these emails? I'm not sure. We'll start going and I'll see how I feel after a few of them. But I got hundreds of emails from different types of trans people when we had this whole debacle a few months ago to see how we felt, or to see how they felt about things, what their positions were on things. And yeah, but we'll see. Some names and details have been changed in order to protect the anonymity of those who've emailed me.
Bonsai
Email
house.
1.
So they noticed
It's exhausting
the
as a
names in
person
that
who is
area
sort of into
without
politics who is also trans.
One
In
thing that
podcasts,
matches
people will bring up
recently
trans
entered
people out of
as
nowhere,
Abe.
and everyone has to have a strong opinion on trans issues. One second, I'm chilling, listening to a podcast, and the next second, somebody's giving a take that feels very personal and relevant to me. It's stressful. It's not just the trans stuff, of course. There is so much politics and shit happening all the time, and nasty, disingenuous people out there
There's some bodies over
everywhere.
there.
After a while, I just want to tune out and live my life.
See that? That's not a mistake. That's just a grave right there. That's right. And that's another grave. And we're just gonna make that a pretty little mass area of graves there. That's what that is. There's some bodies right there, folks. That's a nice rouge color, and maybe put some nice plants around there. We're just gonna put that in right there. Put some ducks. Those some pretty little ducks. Look at
House.
that.
LOL.
Life. Go to work, come home, play some games, work on some hobbies, go to sleep. I don't have the stamina to be out there on Twitter or Reddit arguing against anti-trans people and pro-trans dear gender people. Contra said something like this a while back with the Buck Angel controversy. It hurts a lot of people to be casted out and rejected by the trans community after feeling like the trans community is one of the few places that was supposed to be a safe space of people who understand me. I don't want to be in chat and all of a sudden somebody's asking me if I'm trans and it's a big deal, and like a regular Discord server, some of the people will be cool with it and some of them are not, and all of a sudden I just started a bunch of drama by speaking words in voice chat. So there is strong pressure to conform, or at least not challenge whatever stuff trans people are saying online as a trans person myself. It really hurts when the community turns on me. It also sucks that the noisy trans people online have some more extreme views on things. Nobody will hear my point of view because I'm too busy living life and too tired to be arguing with people on Twitter all day. It's the same with my trans friends, and it sucks that some people get aggravated by whatever dumb shit crazy trans people on the internet say. Even when you're super duper careful with which trans people you're talking about, emotionally, I still feel like I'm being lumped into that group. I fear people will lump us all into the same group. It's just how a human processes emotions, I guess. I hope crazy online people don't warp your sense of perception of how the real world is. Number 2. I always just wanted to live somewhat normal life as a woman, living stealth in trans terms. Not a trans woman, not a trans activist, not a person in queer culture, just a woman. The reason to distance myself from being a trans woman grow with every bad take these online communities give. Number 3. Both my partner and I are progressive peeps. My partner was actually a huge Hassan fan when we met, but not anymore. But we both harbor beliefs about trans issues that we'd never share publicly or with most of our friends because we know we'd get ostracized for them. Or in my case, even potentially banned from a huge gaming community I'm a part of. This bothers me a lot more than it does her. Here's some examples. You need dysphoria to be trans. She feels strongly about this. I'm still thinking about where I stand. Trans women cannot fairly compete in cis women's sports. Neo-pronouns are made-up internet bullshit. Non-binary people aren't trans. She feels strongly, something I'm still thinking about. Both of us cringe at the ultra-left online trans community, but in my case, I sort of went through a year-long phase of being one of those people, which obviously I now look back on and cringe, but yeah, I used to be friends with a lot of the people you now fight with on Twitter. But yeah, not a huge fan of being lumped in with those people, but it's almost unavoidable if I value my relationships and ability to participate in certain communities more than I do the ability to speak my mind about everything. We both pass, but she really wants to be completely invisible, where I, on the other hand, just don't care as much if people know. However, it does feel really shitty that there's this culture in this new age trans community of like, oh my god, I can tell you're trans. I'm trans too. Let's talk about that. And I hate that shit. I had a friend of a friend clock me, like in this woke way, and was sort of put off by it. My friend couldn't understand why I cared at all. Worse than just being clocked to me is when people who do know I'm trans try to virtue signal this allyship to me. Like, go out of their way to say stuff like, hey girl, when they don't normally speak to people like that, and I can tell. This shit makes me physically cringe and more othered than when someone actually does just misgender me. But some people do like that shit. I don't know. It's all my perspective. Number 4. I'm a trans woman and local political advocate in my area. I know you said you don't want trans women to come on to agree with you as a trans shield, as you said, but I don't think these people truly understand how dangerous their influence is. I've worked for 2 campaigns door knocking for people in my district. If a progressive Democrat wanted me to read off lines similar to what like Demon Mama, Josie, or Vosh sometimes says, I wouldn't partake in door knocking or canvassing because I would be afraid of how people would react. Like it's basic reality they're denying, and somehow it has webbed so many normally rational people who, like in my college, have started believing this. Number 5. I'm kind of insulted that Mr. Beard thought he knew anything about trans folk. It honestly sounded like the only thing he knew was radical statements he found on the internet. I understand the sentiment of don't gatekeep being trans, which is where the whole truest scum trans medicalist hate comes from. And I don't think someone's invalid for not doing invasive surgeries, but at some point we have to be able to accuse people of fuckery. I never wanted to be trans. I had seemingly permanent depression for the last decade. I also suffered from suicidal ideation and panic attacks while I was confronting myself to make a decision on my identity. The only thing that's helped me was counseling and moving towards the goal of physical transition. Dysphoria is literally the only reason I call myself trans. My brain said, whoa, something's wrong here. I'm not like the others. It's the only reason I changed my identity to reflect and describe my experience. If someone's not actually describing an experience they are a part of, should they really be allowed to claim it? If someone called themselves a veteran, but they've never served in the military, we would agree that that means they're not a veteran. Hence the reason we put the word veteran on their ID to separate the liars from the real ones. I don't think we need trans IDs, but I do think the term transgender should be reserved for the people actually transitioning or desires to in some manner.
He really
Most
does
likely because
go
of dysphoria.
through
Changing your pronouns is like changing
and
your full name to a
read
shortened version or a nickname. My given
all
name
of these-
is Draven, but I dislike it. Drave, on the other hand, stares slack-jawed at your computer screen while I'm the one who gets thrown under the bus for all of your bullshit. It's incredibly frustrating, and it just seems to have gotten worse with time. So I'm 30 now. I originally questioned self-awareness.
He's gone through
because I
all
question
of it. On at the
everything,
very
because I
end.
question myself, I have answers to all sorts of weird internal cause you earn just by going, I'm not a literal communist actually, I'm like a sockdem at most.
This is the
Anyone
end
that
of the
claims to
video.
be trans inclusive, all of your thoughts, experiences, and ideas are the utmost important to us, only so long as they're things that reinforce what we already think is true. Ugh, okay. This was like it was hard to cut down which ones I wanted to keep, which ones I wanted to get rid of,
Bonsai
but
house.
I feel like having
Draven.
all of these floating around in your head,
His
at the very
PS are
least can
assholes.
give you some understanding of things that have shaped my perspective.
Wow. Holy shit. shit, man. I had no idea about so much of that stuff. That's fucked up, Billy, what people have to deal with. I'm thankful for being small and unknown now, bro. God, I'm thankful. I just want to fucking stay under the radar, bro. I don't need all that in my life. Bro, I don't need any of that in my life. God. It's a fucking nightmare. It's a nightmare. That's a nightmare. I don't know how he's fucking so resilient. It's crazy. So, let me just get this off the screen here. Remember I told you it looked like we were forming a shoulder head shoulder pattern?
If my PS named me Draven, I'd be at the court on my 18th birthday changing it to Tim or some shit.
Look, this is Bitcoin, guys. Shoulder, head. I called this. I said we're on a falling wedge pattern, right? I said it looks like we're about to form a giant shoulder head shoulder pattern inverse. It's very exciting, and so what we're going to be looking for is just to go up a little bit more, and then drop again and form another one of these, right? That completes, then we're going to go up to, I would think, 30,007 or 800, something like that. And then from there, it just depends on if the Ethereum gets over 1900, it could keep going. So that's exciting stuff. All right, so you guys take care, and I'll see you on the next show. Thanks for watching. I'm at Nays Garden on Twitter. When I'm not here, I'm over there posting stuff. Twitter.com. I don't know. I'm over there. I'll see you guys later.